Hello everyone and welcome back to Cities by Steven. You're talking to Steve and welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, please hit that subscribe button, get that bell notification on too so you don't miss out on a video. Last time we were here, we did a really cool suburban business district with a really unique subway station and I really enjoyed that. In today's episode, we are going to be conducting a massive suburban boom of that area that we were building in, and I'm really excited to do that because it's going to really boost the population up, and I've been really looking forward to boosting the population in this area because I want to start doing some other projects where holy cow, look at the traffic. That's amazing. That is one of the older bridges in the city, so I'm glad that it's getting some use like that. Yeah, we have some bigger projects that I want to start working on soon, but I want to, make sure that the city is well populated for that and all our demands are being met and whatnot. So without further ado, let's hop out and check out what we did last episode. So here we are in the Hanover Heights and Waltham area. It's a suburb just on the edge of the downtown core. And what we were doing last time is building up a little business district over in here with the Central Park asset, along with this metro station as well. So, there's been a few changes. Just been messing with some things off camera, and I can't remove the dirt underneath here. I think it's something to do with how close it is to the road, so that's a bit unfortunate. But I cleaned up the trenches a little bit. I also prolonged this path, or this metro track, all the way into the tunnel, so that's good. And then what else? So I brought in the pedestrian zone service area right in here. I thought it fit pretty nicely. So here we are in relation to everything. And I've added in just a bit of light industry along with the fire station. It's a bit of commercial. And yeah, I think this is a cool building. It's a great one. It's a wall-to-wall building. That's pretty good. I like that there. I think it could be a little bit larger for that space, but I don't think I mind it because it gives views to the condo over here. Let's get the sun on the build. There we go. And then so we're over here in a bit of an entertainment district with some more condos. There is a metro over here as well, which is a cross-section metro with a metro that runs like this, and then another one that runs like this. So in today's episode, we are going to be planning out the rest of that metro, and we'll be just zoning in a bunch of residential. Another comment that I got was to add in some of the concerts DLC stuff because, sometimes cities have entertainment districts outside of the area. So I added in the music club over here. I thought it looked pretty nice along this little area here. Kind of represents maybe a bit of an older area that has since been redeveloped. So I thought this building looked nice in this zone here. Maybe this road didn't exist before. And then there's some condo development right next door to it with a bit of an older apartment, perhaps, that is pretty much just attached right to it. So I thought that was a fun little build. And then we have some light industry along here, light commercial. But yeah, I want to start off today's episode by focusing in this zone right in here, this kind of triangle, and just filling in a bunch of residential in here, getting some high density. I'm not sure really what to do with this area. I'm thinking a park is probably the best bet for kind of what's there, but I think some houses along there could be nice. And then we need to think about the metro, but we'll talk about that in a moment. So let's start with this little area here. Let's take a look at the zoning. Yeah, a bit difficult, especially seeing as what's going on with this road here, right? This is a pretty major street. This is technically Fort Prairie Avenue, even though it doesn't say it. So let's make sure it says it. Sorry, I meant Mackenzie Boulevard. This is Fort Prairie Avenue, and they intersect right here. So, I think this deserves a bit of a park. And since it is the intersection of Mackenzie and Fort Prairie, let's make it a named park. And I think that could be a little fun little nod to the cross-section of these two major thoroughways that run all the way through the entire city. So there we go, Mackenzie Prairie Park, just to kind of signify the significance of this park here. And I think we're gonna just get a park DLC kind of gate in here, mainly just to get the level 1 or even level 2 boost through this little zone. So I don't think we really need a parking lot here, but actually, you know what, I'm thinking about it, I think a parking lot could actually do well over here, mainly because I'm sure people would actually park here just to use the commercial through this zone. So we'll put it right in this little corner here because there is road parking here, but you know, maybe they can park here as well. I wouldn't mind. And then why don't we do one gate, or maybe two gates, one right here, then we'll put one right at the end. So we're gonna have to use move it to realign these. And with the Park Life DLC stuff, I don't mind putting fences along the parks, but I definitely don't want this park to be entirely fenced in. But this area in particular, this is a major road. I think that would be nice to do. There is already a fence here anyways, but for example, I don't think we need a fence along here or here, though this side is actually a pretty major street too. So why don't we link that one up with a fence, but then we'll let this be pretty open over here. And I think we can probably call this park a day. It just needs to be enough to get to level 2. And oh yeah, more than enough. So I think we're good. People are using it as a bit of a cut through as well, probably to get from this intersection across. But yeah, I think that does a good, I think it does good for this little corner here. But right along here, I don't know what to do. Should this be more commercial? Should this be residential? It looks like we have residential on this side. So I think we can probably get away with a nice, good little block zone there. And I think that's going to be a good theme of the day, really, is just adding in lots of residential. So right along here, we're at the park, the Central Park, which is a unique building. And I really, really enjoy this asset. So what would be along here? Well, you know, I think the property values along the park would be much higher than elsewhere in this area, because who doesn't like to look into the park, right? Especially if you're on the other side of the street. So I think maybe we could get some high density residential through here. And let's see, looks like we have a pretty unique little spot here for a condo. And then let's leave a gap and we'll go with another one and then another one. I really enjoy the size of condos that pop up. And when I say condos, I mean high density commercial buildings with the self-sufficient building style on, because I think they look like modern condos. And then let's see, we could go another one right here. I think I'm okay with that. And then why don't we start adding in some older houses. Okay, I'm just going to pause really quickly because I see that we actually have the European theme on. So let's just check the districts that make sure everything's a-okay. So this is the Waltham district that we're in. So we need to make sure that this is on vanilla style. And any other policies we need to add in through here, well, parks and recreation would be helpful. That's for sure. And we'll do education boost since we're so close to the university. It would make sense to do. Recycling, of course. Any other ones? Definitely we need high-rise ban on. All right. So now that we've done that, hopefully those European buildings will disappear and we'll start getting some more of these condos through here. And then let's just kind of continue that theme through this block, and then we'll change up the idea elsewhere. All right, so we have eaten through our demand here. Oh, you know what? This also isn't self-sufficient building style. So let me just fix that one more time. My apologies. Okay, so we're playing it pretty tight with the difference between the low density residential and the high density residential, because I want the low density to be vanilla kind of stuff, just like these old houses here. So I think we'll hope for the best, but these ones are are great. It kind of shows that the neighborhood is really starting to grow now that the metro is out this way. And we're starting to see a transition into higher density as we get towards this pocket of business district kind of thing. So we're looking good. We did burn through our residential demand, so that'll come back. But we need to start planning out some other things. So one of those things is services, right? So we don't really have many services out over here since it's kind of blank and empty, right? So one of those services that we need is garbage. We don't really have good garbage in this area at all. So we need to create some sort of garbage processing or holding area. And there's a couple locations in this zone that I think could work. So we have these trees right here. I'm thinking that could demarcate some sort of park. But then if we did that, that would leave this pocket right here between this major avenue and this old highway that goes all the way over into here. And that could be a good little spot for some industry and the like, right? But there's also this street here, which is not going to connect to this highway. So that would create a bit of a dead zone. And this is a really awkward area here with this curved road. It's a bit closer, but it also means that all the trucks would need to flow out of here or off of other side streets. So that one could work as well. Those are probably the two best options in my opinion. And I think I'm leaning towards that one, mainly because I think this is a pretty unique little location here, and we might need to utilize that extra space down the road for an upgrade of this highway, for example. So let's look at this little road here. It's a pretty interesting location, right? Got the big curve up to the main road here, which is Waltham Avenue, I think. Is it? Yep. So this isn't exactly the most desirable of locations to live. It's also not going to connect to the highway here. So I think we could get some type of, or some types of light industry through here, through this zone. And yeah, so let's get some garbage processing through here. And I think we need to get another road connection through this zone as well, perhaps right in here. So let's start off by planning out the grid, I guess. And we'll bring this one right through. Glad that the grid remained. And I'm not going to keep necessarily all of these roads that I'm placing, but I definitely want to make sure that we have the grid. So I don't think I want a connection onto here. Yeah, of this part of, what's this road called again? My goodness, I'm forgetting all the names of the roads. Bowman Avenue, Bowman Boulevard. Mainly because I suspect that this corridor is going to get rather busy. So I don't want to have too many connections onto it. Oh, and then there's this little commercial zone over here too, which is a gas station that I forgot to mention in the intro. So I definitely want to get a connection off of this side, which would mean that we need to find another good spot for a road. Okay, great. That is a decent little connection through here. We don't necessarily need this little jut out either, so we can delete that. And we have maintained the grid pretty well, but I suppose it could be better. But I think we'll probably leave it at that. Yeah, the grid's pretty well maintained. So I'm going to delete that road we just built. I just wanted to see how the grid was. Okay, so then in this pocket here, we're going to add in our garbage collection. And I was originally planning on having it back up to this curve, but after kind of building the connection through here, I definitely think that it's probably more efficient to have it right in this zone in here. So we're getting pretty close to the metro, which is pretty desirable land, but I think this kind of takes precedent. Now we could use this slot in here, which is busy, and also on less desirable land because we're right next to the highway, which also might be better for the trucks. So you know what? I think I'm settling on this side. All right, so as I'm kind of doing this, I'm seeing that we're getting some of the residential demand back, but we're also seeing our industry demand start to skyrocket, which is telling me that we have a really good balance right now. So we'll let this all kind of come back in, and then let's continue what we're doing. So we have a nice giant waste processing area already. So that is something to keep in mind. So we don't really need to do too much more. But in case you haven't seen that episode, where is that? Well, if we're looking at the city as a whole, it's all the way out over here where we have our giant landfill and waste management processing area. So yeah, we're pretty far away, which means we definitely need garbage in this area, garbage buildings as well, or that is. So I think this is a good kind of spot for this area, or for this building, sorry. And yeah, this actually looks pretty good here. Kind of gives it a sense of that it's kind of doing its own thing. But I think we should probably get 2 out this way, to be honest. There we go, that looks really good right there. And we need water out this way, so why don't I run a bunch of water pipes. Okay, fantastic. So now that we have that in place, it gives us a nice little break in space here between the intersection, which is good. We don't necessarily need to always cram everything in. We also leave a bit of space between this industrial area and the highway, so we can cover that with some trees, for example. What else kind of goes in this area? Well, we could throw in a local recycling center, for example. If we're still talking garbages, we could use one of our smaller workshop items. Yeah, we could also expand it and go with a post-sorting facility as well. That's pretty large. That's a pretty large building, which, you know, might not be the worst idea in the world. We're pretty far away from other things, which maybe we do something like that. But I'm thinking that the taxi depot fits in really nicely over here, along with other bus depots as well, if you don't have them in your city already. So the taxi depot fits in really nicely. It has that sense of light industry, at least. So do we have any type of industry in this area? No, we don't. So let's think about adding some of that in. So I think if we were to go over to here and then add in farming industry, I think that one might be nice. I was thinking forestry industry because of the nice warehouses. And you know what? I'm actually going to lean towards that because I really enjoy the warehouses of the forestry industry buildings. But I did see in the top corner over here, now we have a bunch of garbage and taxis running over this way, that we have a bit of an issue with garbage being piled up in our large pedestrian area service center. So let's see if we are getting garbage trucks coming out this way. Now, these are delivery trucks, so that is interesting. I hope that everything's okay. All right, so hopefully that fixes itself. Otherwise, we might need to look into that a little bit further. But because I'm worried about the garbage in this zone, I'm thinking it might be beneficial to get a recycling plant out this way. So that's what I'll do. All right. So the reason why I like the forestry industry buildings are because there are some really nice warehouse kind of looking buildings in here. So if we go to this area and we go 4x3, we get this building here, which is a really nice warehouse. Yeah, very good. I really like these warehouses, especially that they're all different colors too. But, you know, we'll come back here in the detailing time lapse to better, or to make the separation between the two roads a bit more natural. But I think just a few trees here will go a long way. All right. So now that we got garbage kind of done, oh, we lost the building. Okay, nothing wants to stick here, so we'll let it just kind of fallow and we'll let it grow naturally. But I'm thinking commercial might be good out over here. All right, so what does this look like over in this zone? Oh, pretty barren, to be honest. And we'll definitely come back through here with our detailing time lapse at the end. But one way we can really make sure that it feels more alive is to add in some fencing. So we'll go with the forestry fence because this one is a classic suburban wooden fence. And I think maybe if we say that this is a property line, it could end up benefiting the kind of style of build we're going for right here. So maybe this was a development and then this kind of separates out some of the property lines. Yeah, that looks a lot better already, and then we can fill it in with some trees. And yeah, all right. So I'm a little worried about this. So one thing we can always do is just reset the building. I'm kind of worried that maybe I touched it with Move It and it broke the spawn point or something. But yeah, there we go. Everything should be a-okay. But I promised you more services, so let's take a look at those services. And healthcare is fairly good for what it is, but I think we can plan out healthcare while we are kind of going with the suburb. Death care as well, I think we're pretty good actually, so that's something to keep in mind. So we'll abandon that for now. We do have a fire station, which is good. Oh, maybe we could put a fire station over here. Yeah, I think that would actually be pretty good. Yeah, that looks okay. And that also kind of hides it a little bit in a suburban build. But I'm pretty sure we need police. Yeah, we have one police station over here. Let's get another one. And let's get it over in this kind of area somewhere. This is a pretty awkward location, right? So, we could kind of get it right on this corner, which could be good. We could place it in here, perhaps in this corner here. Perhaps we just kind of place it in this area over here. This is a good spot for a police station, pretty close to the highway and stuff like that as well. If this is going to be a park, maybe we can settle for this larger police station. Yeah, you know what? I really like this on this intersection here, and we can definitely come back to it down the road, but I think this will play out nicely. We need to get more people out this way, so maybe we start thinking about getting some more people just in the general area. So we'll work on this, and then we'll start talking about the metro. So I think we're just going to fill in this spot here for now. All right, so I believe maybe we can say this is the limit of the new developments. So we can get some older houses through here. I'm going to keep them uniform. And actually, you know what? No, let's get these ones a little bit larger. Now let's talk about the metro. This is going to be interesting. Mainly because if we're looking at the metro itself, we could clearly get it to end here, and I would be okay with that. But I think we can probably extend it out one stop at least. If we're looking at this area as a whole now, I think the next stop could probably be in this pocket here. And that would make sense for suburbia. But then that could totally just be the end station. Like, I don't know if it would be realistic if we brought it out, like, say, to here. Maybe if we were to elevate it, it might. But if we were to elevate it for this station here, which I think I want to do, we need to start thinking about that. So let's just try and realign the metro to be right in the middle here. I think that could be interesting, at least. We can clearly just curve it in from here, but I think if we're right in the middle of this zone, that could be pretty unique. And then what we'll do here is we'll have the station somewhere over in this vicinity, but I really wanted to get this trench in place first. So let's talk about what the end station is going to be, because I don't want to get a service station on here either. Well, if we're talking about service stations, we have a service station over here, and then the next service station is all the way over here. So if Metro were to go and if the Metro needed service, it would have to go from here all the way underneath the bridge, curve out into Bellevue, and then probably transfer to get into this area here. So let's plan out that Metro line connection. So we would need to have some sort of slip lane from here into this line here. This would be a service line only. And I think that's pretty good. It tells a story. So now we don't need to try and get I guess in a way we could also just have a service connection here to here between these two stations. But I think it would be better serviced if this had a service connection to the main municipal service area. All right, so let's plan out a bit of the road network so then we can figure out where we're going to put this station. And in the meantime, let's get some residential as well. And I think maybe we can plan out some residential in this little corridor, this industrial little area here. I think we can safely say that this would also probably have some residential. This is light industry. Now, I know it's a bit of a faux pas in City Skylines to put industry and residential together, but if you think about a realistic Canadian city, there are tons of instances where industry and residential meet, especially when it comes to stuff like light industry, like we have here, where it's just like a tiny warehouse. Okay, so I want to encourage people to not try to cut through all these residential streets. So what we're going to do is we're going to increase the speed limit, and we're going to do it via lanes. So right through here, we're going to add in that, and then we'll keep that 4-lane system through here. And I don't even mind putting it all the way through, to be honest. All right, so I don't think we're going to be putting anything right in here. So let's turn off some zoning. I think we can de-zone right in this zone at least. That would make sense. And then I don't think I want anything on this street at all, this boulevard. I just think it makes sense to keep it empty and empty of zone, because I think it would be realistic for traffic's sake and stuff like that. And then same thing right here as well. I don't think so. Now, keeping this road here as a single lane or 2-lane, because I don't want cars to use it to cut through. I would rather traffic coming from this side get off here and then go through, or just bypass it altogether. So I want this to be a tough choice. So we'll turn on no parking either. through here. And then hopefully now it would not be used as much anyways. But we're probably gonna need a school out this way, but does it need to be in this little zone? Why not? Let's get an elementary school. It can just be a small modern one. And I mean, this is a pretty major road though, but why don't we get it right here? Let's get the clinic right over here. Why not? That's a pretty good spot for it. It's right on the main, right off the main road here, and then we'll get some residential as well. Now again, I don't think this is going to be the highest of value land, but this is pretty close to school, right? And that's pretty good onto itself. I'm kind of rethinking my plan here because we are pretty close to some zones, or to the metro, and it's pretty walkable as well to the metro. So I'm thinking maybe like a low rise could be nice right here. Yeah, that could be good. And then why don't we just clean that up and then have a path through here? That could work. And then this is an awkward little space as well. That's tough. I don't think residential would necessarily work through here. Commercial probably could, but I'm gonna forego that for now and focus on this side. Another thing we could do is just turn off zoning through this avenue again, because this is supposed to be kind of a main roadway, but then we lose anything right through here. So maybe we have a bit of zoning here, but now when we zone through here, the buildings will face this side. And you know what? I don't think I would mind having a bit of an apartment through here. So we'll let that zone in, and now let's talk about the metro here. So this is a pretty main road. This is also the establishment of our grid. This road runs pretty much right down into Fort Prairie Avenue. So I think this would be a good kind of marker if we were to just build this one out like that. And then same thing with this one, but I think let's just end this one here, for example. So we could bring this one out and just kind of dead end it into the mountain, or we could start to curve it a little bit, right? So we are kind of coming to the end of this land here. We're starting to get elevated. So I think the metro would probably be situated in this area here. It would make the most sense for the topography of the area, right? So we'll kind of get to this height and stay at it. So I guess in a way what we can do is we can have a slight curve into it, then have the metro kind of on this road. That could work. Yeah, you know what? I think this is a good plan. So let's just do some work with the terrain. All right, now we need to pick out a metro station that's going to work. So this is where things are going to get a little fun and interesting, you know? So we could go with kind of the stations that we've been using. The vanilla ground station, which is the similar style to this one with the glass doming and stuff like that, which could work. It's also similar to what we have going on through here with the glass doming and whatnot. When it comes to end stations, I'm particularly keen on the station like over in Dunn and Elizabeth. That makes a really good end station, but this is just one line through here. So having something like this kind of makes it seem like there could be two, which, you know, maybe there could be two lines through here in the end. I see this one comes onto this side. So there's not like a single track station, but perhaps there's something that we could do that's similar at least. Yeah, I think maybe we can look into the train stations as well. That could work, because we have the ability to change the track. And you know, while I do really enjoy this station, whoops, this one, we could place it onto this side, which wouldn't make sense. It would need to be on this side, which I think we need to pull it back a little bit off of the road, which is totally okay with me. If we were to do this station again, because I do really like this station. But we also have this classic train station, which I don't know if there would be a historical reason for there to be a historical train station out this way. The only other option we have is this village station, which could work. I mean, it's open to the elements. It's very simple, but maybe that's all we need for a suburban metro station. But if we're gonna do that, then I would prefer just to roll with the classic metro and stay with the same style that we've been using throughout the entire metro series build for these more modern stations, and that would be this one. So I think we can roll with this one here and kind of place it right like this. And yeah, I don't think we even need to bypass it or anything like that, because this will be the final station through here. And yeah, holy cow, this is the last metro station in the entire series, I think. Wow. Life comes at you fast. All right, so what's the plan here? Well, I'm thinking since this is going to be kind of like an end-of-line station type build, I think parking lots is probably a good idea. Yeah. That definitely makes sense to have a bunch of parking lots through here. So let's level out the terrain to this height and get a bunch of parking lots into this zone. All right, so we got some parking through here now. That's great. The decal's not showing up right here because of how close the metro is, but that's okay. What's going on here? Not enough raw materials. Okay, well, that's okay. And then right through here, what can kind of go in this zone, right? Well, that's a tough one, to be honest. You know, we already used up our parking, use up parking for this area. But I think if we lower this down a little bit, I think it could work out to be a bit more zonable than what we currently have. That's pretty good. And I definitely think we can get a crossing right here, maybe even a road on the other side of this junction. That could actually work out. Sorry, a road on the other side of this. So like in theory, if we were to connect right there, this one would continue in this direction, which would give us a node to work with here for a path, for example. That helps things out a little bit. And then we don't necessarily even need to continue beyond this, because I don't think the metro is going to go out this way. It just doesn't make sense fiscally for the city to have another metro station out this way. But the buses can converge in this little zone. Oh, buses. There we go. That's a great idea. Okay, you know what? I think having this here works out really nicely. All right, so yeah, this works out great. So now that we got that in place, we've really established how everything is going to occur. The grid from Hanover Heights can't go beyond this anymore. The grid from here is now the dominant grid. So let's work on this space in here, because I think this is kind of the only thing really left for Hanover Heights' legacy. So if we have this one here, where would this road need to go? I'm using these trees as a marker for the simple suburban expansion. We might expand onto the hill in the future. But I think if we stick to this road elevation that we're currently on, that could that would probably be the best bet. So we'll try and stick relatively to this gradient, and we can connect up right there. That's totally fine. But do we bring this one over and up or something like that? I mean, I think it would probably make sense for connectivity reasons, but does it make sense to do? Yeah, why not? Let's do it. So the metro stops dead right here. Let's look to improve the look of this station really quickly. Now, I was thinking about getting the other metro station in here where we have the access on two sides, but I think this one makes the most sense. Even if it's not as exciting. But we need to create a bit of a zone here for the metro. And I think if we were to maybe just go right from this bridge right here. Okay, very good. So let's build up some of these roads through here. And let's first talk about how Mackenzie Bridge or Mackenzie Boulevard is going to play into this, because this is kind of where it dead ends. A bit of space here. Then we can kind of talk about maybe getting it out into that direction. So we're going to go down to a smaller road from here. Okay, there we go. And we'll bring it out 10 units, at least 8 before we do anything. Okay, and then from here, we can start thinking about curving it. And we'll use a topography marker for ourselves. We'll go a bit up on the cliff here for this one, actually. There we go. So Mackenzie Boulevard is actually going to change its name there, because otherwise we're going to continue the street forever. And we'll just remove the trees from this side of the road. The wilderness. Nice. Dixon Street. Okay. Fantastic. And now we can continue this grid, finish off Hanover Heights for good. Now I know the suburban builds take quite a long time. That's because I want to make sure that I'm being extra thoughtful to what we're doing. All right, so the last road I think I'm going to continue is Fort Prairie Road here. And what we're going to do is we're just going to have a nice big curve, and let's go freeform. And we're just going to curve it out pretty much directly off of this grid, I think. So why don't we just bring it out 4 units. There we go. And then we can freeform this. Yeah, I like that. Okay. But obviously the road is going to change at this point as well. And yeah, okay. I think this is pretty good, folks. So we have pretty much established the extent of the suburbia of the Hanover Heights area. So let's make that district very clear and precise. I guess it doesn't really matter what district it is, but I'll just bring Hanover Heights over this way. All right, and then we have Waltham Station, which I think we already have Waltham Metro. Okay, so we'll call this something else. So you know what, leave me a suggestion down below for this station. Thank you for your suggestion. I did forget to name this end station, so it's now Van Hohenheim Station, who was the urban planner who planned out the Hanover Heights expansion. So thank you for that suggestion and historical tidbit in the comments. All right, so you know what? We're looking real good right now. I'm really liking how the suburbs are going. We didn't get as much planning of the Waltham grid done. So let's kind of work on getting in some zoning through here, and then we can talk about the grid itself. So let's start over here on this side, and let's work our way over. So this is a pretty nice little area here. Oh, we should probably look at buses on Friday as well, because we're definitely going to need to make sure that all the buses are A-okay. All right, fantastic. So right in this little pocket where we have these three little squares, let's just double check some services. So healthcare. We have one healthcare way over there, which we placed in earlier. We have healthcare over here, so I think we could be due for another one. This would be a good spot for it, but also another spot would be over by the metro, and I think I'd prefer it over by the metro. So we'll skip out on that. Death care is pretty good already in Hanover Heights. We'll definitely need another, some more death care out in Waltham. We'll get to that next time. Child care, we're good. Okay, elder care, we don't have any elder care. This would be a good kind of spot to think about having elder care. So we are pretty close to the metro. I want to get close to the metro, but not too close. But being close to Central Park here is really nice as well. Let's see if we can get this to fit right here. Okay, this is a really walkable area for the elder care facility. And I don't mind this gazebo down over here. Probably be really quiet because it's kind of surrounded by a bit of earth. Yeah, you know what? I think this looks really nice here. Also really fits that awkward triangle, which is always a little difficult to do. But I'm looking at this little spot right here, and I feel like residential kind of would go here. So we've got two small little houses right along there. So that is healthcare. Yeah, that's good. And then that covers a lot of Hanover Heights and Waltham. So, oh, there's one over here. Okay, I didn't see that one. So we're probably good for elder care. We'll probably need another child care over in Waltham proper. Oh, water. Okay, so fire coverage. Yeah, not so great. Yeah, that's pretty bad. So let's talk about that. So I wanted to keep the fire away from here. It would make thematic sense for there to not be a fire station in this area, but to not have one on the other side of the metro would be probably a city planning mistake. So let's place one down over here. Now, fire stations in residential areas, definitely not unheard of. So having this right there is pretty good. And then we can turn this little corner into a bit of a commercial zone. We'll have a couple of corner stores and whatnot. All right, so that was fire and police. I think we've already looked at and we're good enough for what the coverage is. Education, this is the one I was thinking about the most with those little squares. So this is elementary school. Definitely need another one out over here. So good on us for seeing that. And high school. I guess high school would be the next one to think about, right? So let's check out our high school coverage. So we have one in Hanover Heights. I don't think we're going to put one over here, but we're definitely going to put one in Waltham, so we'll keep that for tomorrow. So that's really good to know. University coverage. Oh, this is public library. University's over here. I mean, pretty good. We're pretty close to the university anyways. But public library, let's get a public library in. Wait, do we have no public libraries? My goodness, that's very unlike me. Okay, I don't think it looks too bad over here. So we'll place it down in this zone and we leave it open. And you know what? It's always good to have a library inside of a community, right? All right, so residential then through here. All right, so I got that all zoned up, and let's just look at some parks here. So we do have some nice parks over on this side, but nothing over here. So I think maybe we could get just a couple small assets down. And one of those assets that I wanted to get here was the playground over on this side, and then I want to get a dog park over here as well. And I think right in here could actually do really well. All right, folks. So this was a really good episode. We really planned out a few key elements here. So we got the final metro station here. I really like how it goes into the park and then into the wider world. I suppose we should probably bring that over here. I'll do that in the time lapse. I'll pull the metro over to here. But we have this all planned out. We need to regain our zoning before next episode. Where we'll continue maximizing or utilizing our residential demand before we move on to non-residential projects next week. You know what? I really like the way this is starting to unfold here. I know we've been out this way for a long time, but I'm really keen on making sure that this area is perfect. And then we also have this little area over here with some condos that I forgot to make sure we're good. So we'll come touch those back in a few seconds. Yeah, you know what? This is looking okay for now, at least. We'll definitely come back to here. I just wanted to get the industry out this way, and the residential is here just to make sure that we don't lose the industry buildings. Yeah, garbages are looking good. And yeah. All right, so let's start the time lapse with the metro station, and I'll talk to you guys in a few minutes. All right, so there we have it. Hope you enjoyed that detailing time lapse. On Friday's video, we will finish off Waltham, and then we'll move on to the rest. We got all the hard stuff done today. Friday's episode is going to be just a breeze. We're gonna, I say that now. We're going to, finish the grid off. We're gonna have some cool patterns running through here with some roads. I think that'll really help break the grid up, especially kind of coming off of right here. If we can get some fun roads through here, I think that would be real good. We'll work on the connection to the highway and everything like that. So what do we do over here? Well, just some simple vegetation really helps break things up a little bit. And I got in some very basic apartment buildings with some parking as well. Added in some parking behind the clinic. Coming over to the metro, just some simple detailing around here, and then same thing with these suburbs. I'm glad that they're actually all came in as well. Before we leave, let's check out the property value, because that does tell us a good little story here. Yeah, so there's some good pockets of green through here, even over here as well, which is really good. So I hope you all had a wonderful day, and we will talk soon. Peace out.